Hi, my name is seancowgill, and I'm making this video to tell you what federal prison camp is really like. Yes, Club Fed does exist, at least in my experience, and I'm just going to talk about my experience. And there are other videos out there that tell you Club Fed does not exist. I showed you the picture uh, of me holding a puppy in front of a building. So this is in front of what they call the Teller building. There's 2-unit buildings. So I served a 52-month sentence in a federal prison camp in Florence, Colorado. Out of the 52-month sentence, I did 27 months in the prison camp and 5 months in a halfway house. And I'm on probation now. I've been out since Christmas of 2019. So I've been out about 10 months. And I want to tell you, it's a piece of cake. There's going to be some bad times and some hard times, but it is Club Fed. I don't care what these other people say on their videos. It was Club Fed. I had a lot of good times. I'm going to make some videos and talk about that, but I'm making this video for the guy who's out there on federal pretrial. I was on 4 years in federal pretrial. 4 years, not knowing if I'm getting 10 years. I heard 11 to 13 years when I first got my case. It was for wire fraud. So I did tax returns for a whole lot of homeless people and a lot of tweaker drug addicts. I got them all fat refunds, and government came after me because none of these people had real jobs. So I made it these false tax returns, and I put down that they were house cleaners and yard doing babysitting jobs or whatever. I told people, just make up a job that pays you cash. We're going to tell the government you made cash. Don't tell me you made more than $10,000, and I'll get you a whole bunch of earned income credits. And I took a 20% out of their refund, and that's another story I'll get into. So my crime was wire fraud. Yes, I'm guilty of it, and yes, I did it. I won't do it again, but I have been in jail a few times before I went to federal prison. Most of my crimes were for drug possession, little small amounts, half gram of cocaine, quarter gram of crystal meth. I'm in recovery now, so I'm coming up on 4 years clean and sober. I got the bulk of my clean and sober time while I was in prison. Went to a lot of AA meetings. I did a drug program in there. I did a couple drug programs. There's a program called RDAP. It gives you a year off on your sentence, another 6 months halfway house. I'm going to do another video about that. So out of the 52-month sentence, I only had to serve 27 months in the prison camp. So I'm going to make a bunch of videos because I want to help people. I'm making this one to let you know if you're on pretrial and you know you're going to prison, and you did a white-collar crime, and you've been told you probably know that you're going to go to prison camp or low. So hit subscribe for me. Hit the like video because I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Then I can go live on YouTube and I can do questions and answers and stuff. And I really want to make a lot of videos and try to help you guys to let you know that your life is not over. Your life is not over. You may have to go to prison for 5 years or 8 years, 10 years. If you're a white-collar criminal like I was, you might get 2 years. You might get probation. All these questions are probably running through your mind. Everybody wants probation. The feds don't play. If you've been indicted, there's a 99.4% chance you're going to federal prison. The best lawyers in the world, they couldn't help Trump's buddies. So unless you know Trump to give you a pardon, you're probably going to federal prison. But the good thing is you're going to a camp or you're going to a low. Now, I don't know you, so I'm guessing since you're watching this video and you see white-collar crime, you're going to a camp. A camp is for somebody less than 10 years. You can't have any other cases going like that. I had been to jail a whole bunch of times, more than half a dozen times in my life. So I had what you call 11 in custody points. So the point system for a camp is 1 to 11 points. and that's your record of your past criminal history. Some of it has to do with age and things like that. I'll get another video on that, how you can figure out how many points you got. Your lawyer should also know. If you have 11 to 15 points, you do a low. If you do 16 to 20 points, I believe it's a medium, and in anything past 20, you're going to a penitentiary. Now, mediums and penitentiaries, I don't know much about. Some guys in the camp have told me about them. They're scary places. I wouldn't have made it. I'd have been somebody's bitch. I know it. I wouldn't have made it. But if you're a guy like me with no nonviolent crimes, and you are probably going to federal prison camp. And I'm going to tell you, here's the good thing. It's like going to high school, man. It's like a high school campus or a junior college campus. I got some more pictures. I'll show you guys here. I just want you to know. So they say in federal prison, in regular prisons, they have these cars and these gangs you got to join, and we don't have. There's no politics. Here's some typical guys that I hung out with in there, and as you can see, the race card is not really a big deal in federal prison. I had a couple buddies here. I'll show you another. Here's a buddy of mine. So he's from South Africa. We hung out a lot. You can mix with the races. We have our own tables when we eat a chow and stuff, and our own TV rooms. But there was white guys that hung out with black guys all the time, and nobody. It's not like that in federal prison, in a camp. It's not like that at all. You don't have to join a gang. You're relatively safe. Unless you start gambling and owe people money, you might get beat up. But don't get into that, and I'll do another video on that. You won't believe how much gambling goes on in a prison camp. So a camp has no fences. You can walk away anytime you want. Go ahead. And it's only a 2-year added to your sentence if you get caught. Some guys think it's worth it. So go ahead and walk. Our warden said, "Hey, I'll call you a cab, man." But we'll come get you like the next day. Nobody took him up on it. So let me tell you about my first day in federal prison. So I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I got sentenced on March 2nd of 2017. They gave me 60 days to turn myself in. So that was May 2nd. I had to turn myself in by noon. So I didn't even know if I was going to a camp or a medium. My lawyer didn't know. The designation card I got in the mail said to report to FCI Florence at 12 noon on May 2nd. I called the prison and I said, "Am I going to a camp? Because when I look on the website, FCI is a medium." The lady on the phone said, "Oh, we can't tell you that till you get here." My experience is I've never heard of anybody self-surrendering to a medium. Maybe to a low, but not to a medium. And we had no low. Where I was in Florence, we had a camp, we had a medium, we had a penitentiary, and we had the ADX Supermax. And I had a job at the Supermax. A lot of campers get jobs. So an inmate drives you over in a van, and we went and fed the Unabomber and the Boston Bomber and the Oklahoma City Bomber, and I went to a culinary school there, and it was a great job. Tell you that in another video. Let me tell you about my first day. So I had a friend who lives in Colorado Springs. Maybe it's an hour drive from the prison. So I stayed with him a couple days before I had to turn myself in. And the morning that I had to turn myself in, a friend of mine, Walt Pavlo, he's one of those prison consultant guys. I never hired him because I didn't have any money. Walt gave me a lot of help and a lot of advice. He also put $100 on my books every month that I was in prison because I didn't have money going in. So that's why I'm not trying to charge anybody for any help, but I do want to leave my phone number at the end of this video. If you want to call me, you want some help and somebody to talk to, let you know it's going to be all right. I want to be able to help you. So real quick, I want to just finish up this video and then get into a part 2 and a part 3. So my friend drops me off at we didn't get to drive into the prison. There's a little guard tower, not a guard tower, a guard gate, with the thing that goes up, but a guard booth right on the side of the road. So we pull up, and I say, "I'm here to turn myself in. I got self-surrender." I got there about 10:30 in the morning. I didn't have to be there till 12. But Walt told me if you go in early, they'll process you quicker, and you can get in there, because sometimes if you show up too late, they're going to put you in the hole for a couple days. So I didn't want to do anything like that. So, and he goes, besides, when you get out, you're going to leave at 6 in the morning. I know that's a couple years away, but so I took his advice. I showed up at 10:30 in the morning. So they told me just to wait next to the side of the road. They didn't handcuff me or nothing like that. I said my goodbyes to my friend and his wife and hugs and all that and stuff, and they drove off. And I'm standing there, and I'm waiting about 10 minutes, and here comes a little white Toyota pickup truck with a lady driving it, and she's not in a uniform or anything. She had some kind of polo shirt. It said, some government little logo thing on it, but it was casual dress. And she pulls up, and she goes, "Are you Sean?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Get in." I go, "Get in?" She goes, "Yeah, get in. I'm going to take you here, check you in." So I get in the truck, and I go, "Should I put my seatbelt?" "Don't worry about your seatbelt. We're just going right up here." So she drives up, and I look at her, and I go, she goes, "What's the matter?" I go, "Well, you're awful nice to me." She goes, "Yeah, welcome to camp." I go, "Oh, I'm going to the camp." She goes, "Yeah, what do you think you're going to?" I go, "Well, they didn't tell me." She goes, "They didn't tell you. You're going to a camp. Nobody goes to the medium that checks in like that." So we pull up in this parking lot, and we walk over, and she goes, "Let me get my keys out." And she opens up her office door, and she goes, "Just have a seat on the bench here, and somebody's going to bring you some paperwork, and we're going to get you changed out, and everything's all right." She goes, "Welcome to Florence." So I'm tripping. And here comes the inmate, and he's got a clipboard with some paperwork, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? My name's, I forget what his name was." And he shakes my hand, and he's a black guy, and he reaches to shake my hand, and he goes, "Yeah, man, you can shake my hand here. This is a camp." So right now, he knew that the black-white thing, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And he goes, "Man, you got to fill all of this paperwork." And he goes, "Are you hungry?" And I go, "Nah." He goes, "Let me get you lunch." So he comes back with a bag lunch. It's not a bologna sandwich. It's cold cuts. Like you get at Subway. It's got the 3 kinds of meat, like the cotto salami and turkey and maybe a little bologna with a slice of cheese, some white bread, a little mustard mayonnaise packets, a pack of potato chips, an apple, celery stick, and a carrot, and a milk. And he goes, "And that's our typical lunch here." I go, "Really? No bologna sandwiches?" They had them the next year, but for that year there was no bologna sandwiches, and I ate the lunch. It wasn't bad. And then one of the CEOs comes, and he goes, "Hey, come with me in this room. I'm going to change you out to get rid of your street clothes." So we go in this room, and he's a young guy, and he's got a crew cut, and he's kind of looks like cops I see in jail. And this guy kind of intimidated me a little. And he goes, "What, are you nervous?" And I go, "Well, it's my first time in prison." He goes, "Man, don't worry, man. This is a camp, man. Don't sweat it." He goes, "I need you to take off all your clothes." He goes, "Do you know the drill? You got to lean over and cough and spread your cheeks." And I go, "Yeah." So I take off my clothes and stuff. And he goes, "Those shoes you got there," he goes, you can bring those in the camp." He goes, they were just some cheap, like, Payless shoe source type shoes. There was no brand name on it. He goes, "Yeah, you can bring those in there." And he grabs them, and he just kind of coon like that, and he gives them to me. I could have had drugs, stuff. I could have had anything in there. I didn't know you could keep your shoes. I had a piece of paper with all my friends and families with their address and their names and everything on it, because I didn't know whether, if I could remember. Anyways, I brought that in there, but I'd also mailed myself a letter 2 days before with my friends and family's information on a piece of paper, because you can't bring much in there. You can't bring, really, you can bring that piece of paper, and that's about it. You can bring a wedding ring if it's under $100. You can bring eyeglasses, but they can't be really expensive glasses. And I guess you can bring your shoes. They got to be cheap shoes. So they changed me out into these gray sweatpant things and a gray T-shirt, and I had my own shoes on. And then I had to see a psychiatrist. Make sure you're not crazy. You're not going to hurt anybody. You're not going to hurt yourself. Then you see a doctor. You have a quick physical, and then everything's good to go. And they said, "Okay, so now we're going to give you a little tour of this building here, and we're going to get you going." So they gave me a little tour of this little it's a medical facility. I looked, there's dental chairs in there. There's a couple medical offices with, looks like a little mini hospital. And then we go down this hall, and there's like these administration offices, people in there typing on their computers. Then we get to this big room, and it's another set of doors with what is later to be called the bubble, this glass with these two officers behind it. And then he shows me this one room that's got a big day room inside of it. He goes, "That's the RDAP class in there. Right now they're playing games." I look in there, and these guys are juggling. They got the Jenga things with the and there was another game, Mousetrap. Remember the ball that goes down? I looked in there, and they were playing all these different games. I come to find out RDAP plays a game an hour a day. They play different kinds of things. That's another video I'll do about RDAP. RDAP was a lot of fun, and you get a year off. And I'll tell you how to get that. But you had to be a drug addict or an alcoholic to get into RDAP. And you had to be that before you got busted, not after. But anyways, I'll tell you about how to get in that. So now he tells me, now you got to take. Then they give me the blanket, the pillow. Took me over to a laundry room. That's where they gave me a blanket, pillow. They changed me out again until your greens. Apparently, I got there early enough where they changed me out into my greens. Those gray sweatpants is what they give the newbies, and that's how everybody knows you're new. I got there so early, they gave me the regular clothes. And so now I got my arm full with my blanket and my towel, and, they give me some toothpaste and soap and stuff like that. And they point me down the yard. There's two different buildings in RDAP, and they look like this. In the back here, so this is Teller Building, we got Pikes Peak Mountain in the background. This is in Colorado, southern Colorado. It was a beautiful place to do your prison time. The reason I have the puppy is because they have a dog program in there. A lot of people train dogs, these service dogs, and that's another program. I think they get some time off their sentence too, but so they train dogs every 6 months. They get a new dog, and that's another video I'll make. So I had to walk down this long path to get to that building, and I'll never forget. I got everything in my hands, right? And I got a laundry bag with some more clothes in it, extra clothes they give you. And these two guys came up to me, and they said, "Hey, you new here?" I go, "Yeah." And they go, where are you looking for?" I go, "Well, I'm supposed to talk to the unit manager, 210 or whatever." They go, "Well, here, I'll help you with your stuff. Why don't you let me help you with your stuff?" And I remember going, no, don't let anybody help you, because I don't want to be somebody's bitch. If I let this guy carry my stuff, I'm going to owe him. That wasn't the case. I didn't know it at the time. But I go, no, man, I got this, man. I don't need your help. And I was trying to be hard. I didn't know everybody's in there is nice guys, man. Boy, I'm going to have to make a part 2 of this video, because now I can laugh at it, but man, I had nothing to be afraid of. Damn. Shit. So I make my way into the building, and the unit manager's office, the counselor's office is upstairs. So I find my way up to her door, and it's a lady. And I remember she goes, "Yeah, come on in and sit down." And she goes, "Okay, I'm going to assign you to bed 110. She says, "There's nobody in there right now, but you will have another. You'll have a cellie soon." And she says, "Any questions?" And I didn't remember if I had a couple questions or not. I know she gave me my username and password so I can get on email, and I could also make phone calls. And she wrote it all down on a piece of paper and said, "Here." And she said, "You got $150 on your books." I go, "I do?" Walt Pablo. Thank you, Walt. Had $150 waiting for me on my books. And he also put $100 on my books every month. Check out his videos if you can. Another guy, RDAP Dan, he's a good guy too. And he sent me some money too. And that's another video. And I never hired these guys. I didn't have no money to hire a prison consultant. The government took everything I had, and I was never a rich guy to begin with. So here I am off to find my new cell. And so I come out, and there's a couple different TV rooms. I found the door, like it was unit range 7, bed 110. So I find range 7. I see bed 10. There's nobody in it, like she said. So in a prison camp, it's cubicles. When you go to a medium or a penitentiary, I think they get their own cell. They don't get their own cell, but it's cells, 2-man cells. If you get to a low, I understand that's big dorms, like homeless shelter type dorms. Camp, it's cubicles, like office cubicles. They're made of brick. You know, these brick dividers. If you ever seen Orange is the New Black, that's pretty much what it is. 2 beds, 2 cubicle with a big old locker and a window. And I had a window overlooking Colorado and Pikes Peak every morning. I woke up to see Pikes Peak. So I put everything on the bed. I made my bed. I got everything settled in. A couple guys came over, introduced themselves from next door. This guy named Dave, I may not say his name. He knows, call him Dave. I don't know if he watches this video. We are kind of friends. We were in the beginning more. He came over and started giving me the rundown on the prison, and it's probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So, and I'm looking around, and people are coming up to me saying, hi, do I need anything? And I'm starting to lighten up, but I'm still not trusting. There's a catch. These people are being nice for a reason. That's just how it is. They help everybody out. So I'm going to stop this video right now. This is part 1. I'm going to do a part 2. So it's 2 o'clock, my first day in prison. And I'll do a part 2 in a minute. And I hope this is going to help you guys. You got nothing to worry about if you're going to a camp. I'm telling you, you're going to have fun. You're going to cry sometimes, and you're going to miss your home. And it's, you know, it is prison. There's times they remind you. They have shakedowns and lockdowns and all that. And I saw a couple fights, but they were high school fights, you know, on the yard. Anyways, you're going to make it through camp. Camp is, I mean, you could go out all day long, 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, in and out, do whatever you want. There's jobs you got to do. There's even ways to not get a job. The camp I was at, I think only half the inmates had a job. And if you got money on your books, you know, you got nothing to worry about. You can get anything you want in a camp, and I'll do another video on that. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to stop this video right now. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and check out part 2. Thank you.